Hey, how's it going? So we're gonna be doing using new subject observable from RxJs to create a stream of values. So once you input, you see they are being inputted. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, I don't see any benefit of this other than converting your input into an observable, because I think that's the only reason why it exists. To be honest with you, right? So we are going to remove everything and we're going to start from completely from scratch. Okay, I think it's like this. I'm going to remove. All right, so the first thing you need to read is subject in the there you go. This is a class. All right, this is a class. Now the description is not the best, honestly, but that's why I'm making this video. So the first thing we need to do, we need to import search from RxJS. So we do search. Oh, whoops, subject. My apologies, subject. All right. Then we need to create observable. So we call this variable input observable. Normally you put this little thingy to tell people that it's observable. Then we're gonna do new subject. I think it's like this, right? I just need to look into my notes. I don't use this too much, so I have to use my notes most of the time. Okay. Yeah, you can also assign type to it this way. Okay, so now we have a new subject. Now we need to create a function where once you use it, it will like kind of like insert the values into the variable input. Let's call this stream, variable input stream. I hope you know what stream is. It's just repetitive I'm gonna remove this thing because it's trolling. Okay. All right, so let's create a function. We'll call this input stream function. Now you're gonna have argument. Just put it argument one, whatever you want to call it, check and bake, doesn't matter. It's going to be a string. And then we're gonna do this variable input stream dot next arg1. Okay. So what this does is it inputs the values from whatever the argument is one by one in here and creates an observable out of it. All right, so if you want to console log it, naturally we can console log this thing here. So this variable input stream. So as values are being passed, you'll be able to see them coming in. So now we just need to have an input. I already have an input in here. Let me just delete everything and just do it. So yeah, so let's just put in input. Now we need to have some kind of way to pass input value into this function here. So the way to do that, we can do hash. I call it hash binding. All right, we call it input value. I don't know, call it shake and bake. You can call this anything you want, right? And then we want on input, right? So this is we're using Angular. Binding. Okay. So we have input. We're gonna run the function input stream. And then we need to pass value from input. So we're gonna use this thingy here. And we're gonna put dot value. Basically, what this does is it kind of creates a binding between an HTML element and your component to a certain way. You can pass values from this, kind of like value, ID, I think you can do as well. It's kind of, I think it's equivalent to get element by ID, and whatever is in the element, it will show you input type, blah, blah, blah. You're just shortcutting it this way, right? So now this shake and bake is kind of equivalent to the entire input. So naturally, because it's the entire input element, we can get value out of the input element, which is like input.value is whatever you type into it, right? So now you will see that as soon as we start typing, we can see the console log. Let's just reload. Okay, it's not working. Why is it not working? So one sec, let me just find out why it's not working. So I'm back. I realized why it's not working. That's because when you're typing into it, it's an observable. All right, so you see it's like pumping out an observable. So if we want to console log an observable, we need to do this variable input stream dot subscribe, I think, like this, and then we can console log it, right? I think this is going to work now. Yeah, so you see now it's pumping. So basically what's happening is this is now an it's exactly the same as an input, it's just an observable that is now just pumping value one by one. And I think the reason why you want to do that is because you can attach certain pipes like error checking by using the Reactful extension JS. So using this thing here, because there are a lot of nice pipes in here, like mapping, for example, error checking, doing a lot of like things. And this entire thing only works with observables. So you see, you cannot connect all of your pipes to a simple input. It has to be an observable, right? So that's how you do it. All right. Take care. Bye bye.